You're listening to Wanna Coffee with Kai Alicia.
And Adriana.
Talking
Random.
sensible
Shit. Oh, the first podcast, which is something really... it's awesome.
It is friggin' awesome. It is so friggin' cool. And our very first one, doing it in our beloved living room in Summerhill, Sydney, Australia.
Yes. Might as well say that this lovely living room is really far, far away from what we usually call home.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and we are living something really special and historical here in Australia, which is something that if I ever expected to happen, I never expected to happen here, but home.
Yeah.
But this is home now, so
Exactly.
it's good.
Exactly. And I know you traveled quite a ways to get here, all the way from El Salvador.
Salvador, yes. Teeny tiny country in Central America.
I know, and it is nuts that you're here, and you're essentially here by yourself. Some family, but not necessarily that close to them, right? But,
Yeah, we're still getting to know each other, which is great, but yes, I made it here, I think, a little bit by myself.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. In December, I remember coming back from seeing my family back in Boston and arriving and seeing you here just after Christmas in December and getting to go get our nails done.
That was the first activity. From getting our nails to a podcast.
You know? Success.
We have
made
progress.
it. Yes.
Yeah, we have progress.
Yes.
Yeah, but after the quarantine, I think we're going to go back
I
to
know.
our first ways, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Definitely in dire need of a wax because I am. Well, let's just say, tough times.
Yes,
Tough times.
exactly.
Tough times,
Yeah.
But we're surviving. First world problems.
We're looking okay, so in case anyone is wondering, we are looking okay. It's not that this is a mess. No, we're doing okay, but some maintenance is needed.
Some maintenance, exactly, some upkeep. But yes, this is the new normal. COVID-19, the coronavirus. Everyone's talking about it. It's a global pandemic, and it feels like the apocalypse is coming or the end of the world is coming. I want to stay positive. I will stay positive, but dark days ahead.
You're right. Well,
in some areas of the world,
yes.
the dark days ahead, right? The numbers of death continue to skyrocket in various places in the United States, and it's friggin' crazy. But even amidst crisis, amazing things can happen. You can do wonderful things, and people can flourish, lives can change, and lots of beautiful things can happen. Here we are, starting a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree with you. It sounds a little bit, out of what the context is now in the world, say to keep it optimistic because, yeah, for sure, really dark days ahead and dark days are happening already. But I remember something my mom told me when I asked her, like there was a civil war in El Salvador back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that I asked her is, how come you move on with life? Like in the 80s, you created your family, you got with my dad, you had your kids. Like, I will never thought of doing that, of keep going in something like that critical. And she's like, whenever you're in a crisis, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Life will go on. And you have to keep yourself positive, and you have to go ahead and keep dreaming and keep trying, because the time will pass.
Yeah.
Whether you make it or not.
Yeah.
You have to accomplish something.
Wow.
So I think we're living in one of those times that she meant a couple of years back when I asked her. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so profound.
Yeah, but I think you have, yeah, that's profound. But I think that this is the first time our generation is living something like that. So we are a little bit scared. We don't know what's...
Yeah, this is totally new for us.
Yeah.
Totally new. And it's totally a shock to the system. But, because I think, and what makes it even scarier is it's global. It's every part of the world, you know? But your mom's right. Your mom's right. You know, life continues to happen, whether, you know, we like it or not. Things just continue to turn, and so here we are.
Yeah, and this is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We are talking about today on COVID-19.
Exactly.
And how are we handling it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to believe that we're going to talk about positive things. So my question to you is now, how are you handling COVID-19?
Wow, the pressure's on. The pressure's on. I mean, you know, I would say it's taken, and it's an adjustment.
Mm.
It's an adjustment to sort of be locked away in the house 24/7, not able to go into places of business like that I would frequent, like, you know, go to restaurants or go into work, for example. But as I've sort of gotten a bit more used to what this is like, I feel like I've been much more creative than I thought possible. You know, here we are. We've started a podcast, which is like something that I probably wouldn't have started now, but I had started one a while back with one of my other friends, and that went really well. But I've always wanted to do this, and I've always enjoyed conversation with another person, and you know, me proposing it to you during this time just felt right, you know?
That's right.
And we have, how it all got started is I realized I always just bugged Adriana in the morning. Every time I would see her, I would say, you know, do you want a coffee? And whether I realized it or not, it was my subconscious, I guess, way of initiating a conversation, you know, and I knew if Adriana agreed to the coffee, she was ready for conversation. If she wasn't, she probably would leave in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and that was okay with me. Like I understood what that language was, hence naming the podcast Want a Coffee, you know. A great way, I think, Want a Coffee has a number of meanings as well. And I just sort of, you know, explain one of them. But to just meet, Want a Coffee means to, in a lot of respects, to meet, to come together, to fellowship, you know, over something, over coffee. You know, coffee's stimulating, and I feel the conversations we have been having are like super stimulating.
Oh yes,
and they're frequent and all the time. You know,
every day. Yeah, it became our new normal. Exactly, it was something that we can have amidst, you know, all this craziness that is going on. You knew that when you woke up, I was going to be in the living room doing whatever thing, and you knew that, oh, she's there, and I will knew that, oh, Alicia's about to wake up. Those are one of the things that you can learn to count of them. And I will say that if, you know, for people that are listening to us, maybe they're living the same situation, because they have to be at home, and maybe they have to, you know, increase communication with their family, their roommates, whoever they live with. So they are starting like these little routines. So maybe that's something that we can all relate. Right, to that. So, Want a coffee?
Want a coffee? Want a coffee was born, you know? It is relatable. It is relatable. We're getting used to this new normal. We're developing new ways of communicating with each other. No one expected, for example, we didn't expect to be in this situation. I had thought in May my father was going to come from Boston and visit us, and during that time you guys would probably get your own place.
Yes.
You know, this was totally unexpected.
Yeah, we definitely, when we started 2020, we all had so much different plans. And we are here, but we're doing the best of it. I think that, it's been good. And what I like what you said before is that you're feeling more creative these days. And this is good. And I think that I admire your positive mindset. Because, okay, these are hard times, like, you know, financially for many people, or said, you know, work related, maybe they're more stressed, or they're just worried, maybe the people, they're anxious and everything. So it's really difficult to try and see something outside what we're living now and what we're absorbing with the news and what is happening. So yeah, I think that is good to focus on the positive and be creative and try, like, we're away from work if you're not working, or if you have if you have reduced hours or whatever. So this is a good way to find what you're interested in, and, you know, another kind of projects that you may have that they're not necessarily work related. So, it's good to be positive. People, some of them they're cooking, some other people they're painting, some other people they're cutting their own hair. So
it's true. I think people are trying many different things, you know, and, you know, I'm someone who really enjoyed going into work and having those daily conversations briefly, and then getting on the computer and then going to a meeting, having that regular sort of social interaction. And, you know, you mentioned it earlier, people are finding ways and developing new ways of talking to people that they live with, or communicating with them. And, you know, you and I have great conversation, and we're from totally two different backgrounds. You know, I'm from Boston, well, originally from Canada, but, you know, I'm from Buffalo, New York, and you're from El Salvador. You've experienced a completely different life. You work in finance. You know, I do a lot of things, but primarily I'm in the arts. And, you know, it's amazing to see how much common ground we have, and how much we can learn from each other, and how much dialogue there is there in such a short amount of time. I think that's really promising.
Yes, that's a good word.
Hopefully we see more of this type of collaboration, or this type of new normalcy, I guess. Moving forward. How are you coping with COVID-19?
Oh, God. Oh, COVID-19. Yes, I think COVID-19 has started a little bit earlier for me. Not because of the whole, you know, chaos that is going on. But my quarantine, well, not quarantine anyways. I'm moving here back in December this year. So I was pretty much out of my element earlier. So I think that I got used to not being on my regular routine a little bit before than everyone else. Still, it has been difficult because I don't know about you, but sometimes we link our identities with work. Yes. So my work is my everything. Like, you know, I enjoy my work and
Yeah.
I can think about it. Not
Yeah.
only the 8 hours that you work every day, but you keep thinking about it. And if you do something really well, you enjoy it. But the thing is that if you're really into your job, you start missing on other things that life has.
Yeah.
And this is the chance that we get with Kobai if we stop, not work it necessarily, but if we stop doing what we think is what we have to do, our routine, working, and we think, no, there is more to life than just that, and we think that maybe this is the time to grab a book, and maybe this is the time to spend more time with my family, talking to them, or spending time with my kids, say, if someone has kids, or with my pets, or with that hobby that I had, I don't know, 20 years ago, whatever. So yeah, I think that has been the lesson for me, and how am I coping with Kobai. Yeah, I have to go back to my roots and find myself in a different way that is not related to work.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. We do. We link so much of our identities to work. I think many of the questions, a lot of times, even back home, I don't know how it is for you in El Salvador, but a lot of times the first question that people ask me who don't necessarily know me is, oh, what do you do?
Exactly, yeah.
And, it'd be refreshing for someone to be like, what do you do for fun?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
What do you like to do? Or where do you live? Like, just something outside of work. I think this is a great time to redefine ourselves and to, revisit what we've held as priorities, or what we have deemed for so long as very, very important, because I agree. I've had lots of retroflexion and lots of introspection, I think, and I've been able to see that some of my priorities are really kind of messed up, whether that's good or bad. I shouldn't say maybe not messed up, but I've been maybe focusing a little too much of my time on things that maybe don't deserve all of my time and energy. And getting a chance to sit back and evaluate and determine how I want to live my life now, before COVID ends, is so empowering, because I realize I definitely don't want to go back to the way things were. For me, I don't want to go back to the way I did things. I want to have a new way in approaching, and approaching my life. And goodness, we've since the short time we've been here now, we didn't tell you this, guys, but we're part of a mastermind group called the Lighthouse.
Ooh.
And, we're working with other really successful women. Thank you. Super successful over here. But no, we're proud of our efforts and our achievements. And it's really cool that, we were able to think of a new project of working with like-minded women and crushing goals together, whether that's separate or together. And Adriana, in my case, one of our goals is actually, one of my goals was to have this podcast, but lucky for me, Adriana was the perfect co-host and it worked seamlessly. So,
and we live next door, so we didn't break any laws into that.
Yep. No. So it's good. I don't want to go back to the way things are. I'm working on a number of other projects, and I hope to continue that momentum. And I hope that this show serves as a helpful tool for not just, the couple 5 that are listening, but for us. I hope that this really propels us forward and really motivates us to be like, we can friggin' do anything.
Yes.
Just because.
Just because it makes us happy.
And that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to live by. And I think that many people, they're figuring out that now that we're in the, crisis. Mm-hmm. It's like, again, you think about your priorities and what you want for life. And yeah, what everyone wants is to do what they feel they make them happy. Mm-hmm. Happy for themselves, happy for their family, and for the others. I mean, like you say, this has changed so many things, so many preconceptions of society and life and what we thought it was okay, normal, and right. Mm-hmm. We see now that they don't work, and this is a time for transitioning and to find something really good. And I think that that's also our goal, maybe, to give some inspiration for, I don't know, I mean, maybe someone will listen to this and say, hey, maybe I should do this something for fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and show it to your community, to your friends, to your family.
Absolutely.
I'm more than sure that they're going to be happy to see you happy.
Yes.
Exactly so.
Amen.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to send us what you're doing, your pictures of what you're doing, or if you want to send us like a voice note, and we're going to play it here, and say, yes, that person is doing great and we're happy for you. So we're going to be rooting for you also.
Yes. We are. We are. What I realized is there's balance to life. It was hard in the beginning, and it still is a bit, it can be a bit hard to adjust to certain things. Sometimes I wake up at really random hours, or I can't fall asleep, or I'm anxious about, I don't know, anything, and I've got to basically take restock of myself and my body and my mind and say, okay, I just need to accept where I am, what's happening right now, and say, what alternative do I have but to make the best of it?
Exactly.
Yeah, there are some downsides to this thing, and it isn't just like rainbows and unicorns everywhere for us. But I think what Adriana and myself, I think, what we're trying to really say is do the best that you can with what you have in the time that you have. Shoot. This sounds like a motivational session.
When did we become this? But yeah, you guys can do it. Okay.
Anyway, thanks so much for listening in.
Okay, and good luck with COVID-19 and wash your hands.
Thanks for listening. We want to know what you think.
Send us your comments and follow us on Twitter and Facebook
at #WannaCoffeePod.